This is a Pod Dealers Network podcast.
The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. I don't know, either you get it or you don't. I'm still on dad mode, so fuck it though.
What is TWS podcast, episode, whatever, who cares at this point?
Bar.
The
rant of the vindicated.
It's my podcast and I do what I want to.
People, listen.
Word, is it still live?
It's not working for me, Rich. All right, we gonna keep going.
I know I changed my voice at work.
Bars on the radio.
What is TWS podcast?
When ready. I feel like the Neanderthal. Staring at my watch and I'm feeling so new school. Suicide attempts, how many tries to take?
Damn.
It be the ones who say they ride for you. It be the ones you love, them too. It be the ones who swear they real, not true. It be them ones, don't get caught up. It be the ones you're closest to. It be the ones you trust, them too. It be the ones you look up to. It be the ones, don't get caught up,
I rose in Harlem. Grew up the concrete. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the What is TWS podcast. As always, I'm your boy J. Flan, representing the White Pants Society. And I do want to thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to just, talk through some stuff, have some fun. I don't know. Hopefully, whatever. I'm just saying, you could be anywhere else in the world and you decided to spend some time with me, and that's greatly appreciated. So yeah, I feel like I never really took the time to embrace Teyana Taylor as an artist. I was a fan for completely different reasons, but I never really understood. Like, I don't even think I realized she did music. And then recently, I've come across a couple of her songs. She's pretty dope. I like that one, Rose in Harlem. It has nothing to do with the episode. I just was vibing. Yeah, I'm in a good mood if you can't tell. Another, pretty good week. Weeks kind of just fly by. I don't even know if they're good weeks or bad weeks. Just like the time goes by and then I see my daughter and that's usually like the highlight of my week. I mean, it is the highlight of my week. I had a great time with her this week. So I'm still, riding that high a little bit. I'm sitting in the office recording this. I got the blinds open. The sun is setting in the background. I'm drinking some ice cream tea. I'm feeling real brand new. I'm just in a good space. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. I don't have a lot of ideas for this show. I did not too long ago, like before the 200th episode. Like my idea for the 200th episode was really an AMA. I wanted to do Ask Me Anything. And I did. I think all of the questions I did for the AMA came from the same person. I know they did. I had a conversation with them afterward. They kind of came forward as the question asker. And it was still pretty dope that it was, there is somebody who listens to this show and gets enough from this show that they wanted to ask me a bunch of questions, and they did, and I answered them, and good time. So I got a question recently, and so I figured I'd take the time, and it was like a multi-parter, like it was several questions in one. I kind of feel like, I try to figure out who it is that's asking me the question when they ask, and I kind of feel like I at least know the ethnicity. If I'm gonna do a guess the ethnicity on who asked me this question, I'm going with white, because they asked like 6 questions in one. And I feel like that level of entitlement, like that level of privilege to believe that want to ask me anything, you could ask more than one question in your question. I don't know, that screams whiteness to me for some reason. This could be what gets me canceled. I don't know, but I just wanted to share that with y'all. The other thing I think is dope about that whole like realization is that where the podcast is right now, like I think I have like almost personal relationships with everybody who listens to the podcast, which is a good and bad thing. It means there's not very many of y'all, but it also is dope that I can watch, because I watch the numbers like a hawk. I can watch the numbers and I can see a play come in from, a certain platform in a certain area. And I feel like I know who that is. Like I know, okay, so-and-so just caught up this week. I might get a message from them, real quick to discuss whatever was going on. And I kind of dig that, like, that close. Like I know my audience or my lack of. I'm not gonna complain. I'm in a good mood. I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, I feel like I know I wonder. I'm a claim it. I wonder like how differently it's gonna feel when I lose the ability to do that. When when shit pops off and I have no idea who's listening to my show. But hopefully we can work out some things where I still am able to maintain some sort of relationship on a personal level with the people that consume my content and try to use industry words or whatever. But yeah, let's get into the show. I do want to, do what I normally do and give my Chef Elise recap, because this was a great weekend. Like I don't even know. I've said that to a couple people that like I had a great time with my daughter this weekend, and and it's the same limited amount of time. It wasn't even really 24 hours, but it might have been close this week. But I just had it just felt like a better, more substantial period of time with her. Like we just the entire time we were engaged in something and having fun and interacting and being daddy and daughter. Like we were and it was I can't even put my I can't even put my finger on what it is about this week in particular that felt so different. Because when I talk to people about it, well, what happened? What did you do that was so amazing? It's like I don't know. When I get ready to try to tell the story, it don't sound amazing, but it still feels like it was an amazing time. Like I know for me, and I'm pretty sure this is consistent throughout the realm of parenthood or whatever. Like when you do something for your kid or when you plan something for your kid and it actually hits, it's like telling a joke. And when people actually laugh, like if you plan out a joke, it's a joke, and you tell the joke and that joke hits, like that's a feeling. If you write a song and you put the song out and that song hits, like that's a feeling. Like when you are planning something for your kid and then you execute and it hits, like it's beautiful. Like it's beautiful, beautiful. So, my daughter is still in her favorite colors, pink, princess, unicorn phase, rainbow phase. I did the rainbow grilled cheese last week, which was an epic fail, but lesson learned. I'll let her fight another day. So this week, I kind of figured, we keep that going. She seems to be in that mode. Like that's what she wants to do. She had mentioned wanting to do rainbow pasta, which is one of our things. And so I had that on the agenda. And I went out and I got some popsicle molds in the shape of a unicorn, because she's big on unicorns. And so we made these strawberry popsicles, like strawberries and yogurt. And, we made popsicles as soon as she got here. And, I think it was just, I don't know, it's a great time to see some of the things that we've been doing, like building on each other. Like I was really able to just set her up at a table, give her a cutting board, give her little kid safe knives. And yes, people I put the pictures out there of us doing this stuff, and you'll see her with a knife in her hand, and you'll see a more serious knife on the table. But I'm watching her. Like it's not, she wasn't just chilling with the big ass knife. Like I was right. Like I don't know. I always worry about how I come across as a parent, because I am one of the parents that I don't want to say I don't give a fuck, but I feel like the greatest teacher in life is experience. Sometimes I'm not going to stop her from doing something. As long as I know I can help her handle the consequences of it, I let her go ahead and run into that brick wall just so she know to avoid it next time. But anyway, yeah, I was just able to set her up, wash the strawberries off, give her the container of strawberries, give her some bowls to put stuff in, give her knife, and just let her go. And she just sat there and she chopped up strawberries and ate most of them. But we got enough for the popsicles. And she's just a dope kid. Like we sitting there chopping up strawberries, and she's telling me how I'm the best strawberry chopper in the world or whatever. I don't know. Women, y'all, I'm seeing the evolution of these tricks that y'all use. So my mom used to do that shit to me. My mother used to tell me this is how women know how to just manipulate you. As a kid, my mother used to tell me that I was the best microwave popcorn popper in the world, and that shit meant something to me. And so when she asked me to make her some popcorn, I was excited every time, because I felt like I had a whole like strategy down. I knew exactly how many seconds to put on the timer. I knew how to like shake it, the right way when it came out and everything. Like I felt like I put my spin on microwave popcorn. It's fucking microwave popcorn. Like, but my mom had me convinced I was the best at it. And that's how she would get me to do things. I was the best pancake maker too, or the best. I would make the best cakes or something, and all our cakes was like out the box. I followed the instructions, but she just hyped me up, and then I would want to do it all the time. So yeah, I'm sitting there with my daughter, and I was the best strawberry chopper this week, and we went back and forth with the compliments. No, you the best. No, you the best. Like it was, we had a good time. We made the popsicles. We made the rainbow pasta. And again, it was another moment where I was just able to like set her up. I gave her the food coloring. I got her, some water in a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, and the little storage bags we used to kind of do the dye of pasta, and just could let her go and just let her measure out the water and put in the right amount of food coloring. And then just like watch her imagination go. Like she decided that certain colors was boy colors and certain colors was girl colors. So I think like blue and orange was off to one side, and like purple and pink was off to another side. And they had to be separate because these was the boys and these was the girls. And it got to the point where like I think I came over there because once we put the pasta in the bags, the pasta was still really hot, and so it was my job to mix it up, like smush the pasta around in the bag. And I put a boy color pasta bag on the wrong side of the table, and that became an issue. I had to, she had to correct me because that's not where, Dad, did you forget? It's not where the boys go. Boys go over here. It was, I was a sous chef. She was very authoritative this week, and in a dope way. I normally don't like to be corrected, but I don't know. She has a sweetness about her, my sweet pea. But we did that, and then we also made like a lemonade. I called it lemon limeade because I put some limes in it. Like, I don't know. I'm just becoming a different person. Like, I actually keep a bowl of lemons and limes in my kitchen as strictly a decoration. Like, it's just like, I do use them because I make the lemon curd and I do some other things with lemons, but I keep, a certain amount. I throw them away when they get bad and buy new ones because I like the yellow on the gray countertop. Like, I never thought in a million years I would give a fuck about something like that. And all of a sudden I do. I give a lot of fucks. And I think it's dope. I took a picture of my living room kitchen area today and sent it to my mom. Because growing up, I don't know if anybody else had this experience. Growing up, every Sunday, we were supposed to clean the house. We were supposed to clean the house on Sundays because you never knew who was going to come by. And in like, the 24 years, I ain't leave the house till I was 24. In the 24 years that I lived in my mom's house, I don't remember anybody ever stopping by on a Sunday. But every Sunday, it was very important that we clean the house because you never knew who was stopping by. And I got it this morning and I cleaned the house because it was Sunday and you never know who's going to stop by. And took a picture of it, sent it to my mom so she could know. I do that stuff to piss her off because I drove her crazy as a kid with all the stuff that I wouldn't do. And just like, I do it to piss her off and then like to show appreciation. Like I'm letting her know all those things you did that didn't seem like they were getting through at the moment. Like I live those things as an adult now. Like I'm constantly quoting my mother to people. I was quoting my mother, to Tammy's mother earlier this week. He was talking about some disciplinary issues and how, and how to handle it. I was trying to get her prepared to handle a kid like I was, and so I was using like stuff that my mom used to say. And so yeah, I throw that in her face every once in a while. It irritates her and I know she loves it. Like all the hell you put me through, but now like you using it. But anyway, yeah, we did the lemon limeade, which was dope. She helped me cut it. She knows how to like roll the lemons to get them juicier. I don't know. And then she cuts the lemons and stuff for me. And she was doing this whole little cute thing with the seeds because the seeds was like baby lemons. And she was like, "Hey, little guy, come on, like Dad, you got to get the seeds out. We got to get that little guy in there. Oh, who's that shy little guy?" Like she's just an amazing little kid. I love her to death, and I wish I could claim some credit for it. You know, just her mom is doing an excellent job. I know she's a little overwhelmed right now, but if you're listening, I think you're doing a great job. She's an amazing little girl. Everybody thinks so. I think so. So yeah, but we just had a great weekend. I bought her some new books. I'm gonna say this though. I bought these books and they were like African folk tales, like some Anansi the Spider stuff. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And there was another one like about why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears. And my daughter loved the books. But the difficult thing for me was like the language. Like I almost found myself getting upset because like the Anansi book, it felt like it was written in broken English. Like it felt like it was written in the way you would expect a person from Ghana or you know from the region that these stories originate from, who maybe for them English isn't their first language, would speak if they was telling a story. And I found that insulting for some reason. I don't think my daughter, I got to try to like not spread that stuff to her, like how racially sensitive I can get. Because I'm pretty sure it was a black person that wrote the book. It's like, man, you just could have told the story like in regular English. Like you didn't have to, like, did this make it feel more authentic from like, an African point of view, that the English was bad or the grammar was bad or whatever? And maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. I possibly could. But she loved the end of story. She loved the book. She had me read it to her a couple times before she left, and she wanted to take it home with her, which is a dope feeling. Dope feeling. And the mosquito thing the same way. It just had a bunch of, like, they was spelling sounds. What is it? Is that called an onomatopoeia or whatever? I remember that word from like high school. But they were like spelling sounds, and I just couldn't. I was looking at these words, like trying to figure out how the fuck do I pronounce that? And you're in front of your daughter, so you gotta like just do it. But we even had a good time with me clearly not knowing what I was supposed to say, and I was pointing at her like, what you think that is? Like, and we come up with a sound on the spot and go with it. So yeah, I'm in a good like dad mode. Like my daughter is everything to me. Like she really is the highlight of my week. Yeah, man, like, I don't know. And I had a good weekend. And so I'm not going to have her next week. But the week after that, we're going to start where I have more time with her. So I'm going to start keeping her for the entire weekend. So Father's Day weekend, I'll have her for the whole weekend. And I'm trying to think of some things to do. I've decided, like, life is so much easier and so much sweeter when you just, like, stop fighting things and you, like, go with the flow. And you just embrace it and embrace your part in it and be the best you can be in whatever situation. So I'm trying to do that with the whole Step Pop, situation. We went this weekend and I had to take her with me when I went to the barbershop, and it's like a candy shop near the barbershop. And we stopped to get candy, and I always make sure, she thinks about mommy and gets mommy something. And, and this week I was like, what about, Mr. I ain't gonna, say his name. What about Mr. Whatever? What is he like? I know she talks about him liking chili dogs. I'm like, man, they got a little gummy hot dog. You think he would like that? All right, let's get that. So I'm trying to make it easier for her, because I've noticed some moments with her where maybe she perceives the tension. Maybe she feels like she's not supposed to talk to me about him. Or I guess there was one moment in particular. We was on a video call, and I think he was leaving, and he was calling her to say goodbye, wanting her to come out and like say goodbye to him. And she's on the video call with me, and you could just see like she was torn. Like she didn't know what she was supposed to do. It's like walking away. Am I supposed to walk away from daddy to go, say bye to my other dad? Or like, what am I supposed to do? Like she was, and I think at that point I was so in my feelings and my ego that I just sat there and let her have that uncomfortable moment. And I think eventually he said like, nah, you can stay in there. Like he realized what was going on. He was like, no, just stay. And I could have handled that better. So I'm trying to do that. So I'm going to have her for Father's Day and, Mother's Day. I always make sure we do something for my ex-wife. So I'm trying to think of, what are we going to bake, or what are we going to make, or something, for the stepdad. Because he plays an important role. I can't be there. There's some things he's going to have to do, and I need her not to, I don't ever want her to feel, I don't ever want to see that look in her face again. Like I want her to be happy all the time. I want her to enjoy, life, and not to have this tension that's not hers, you know, that has nothing to do with her. It's not her fault. And don't have to exist. And it feels so much better now to just like go with it and be like, yeah, that's your step pop. We're gonna make something for father. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. And that's why I'm in such a good mood. Took up the majority of the show, but I think that's what I intended it to do. but yeah, great time with my daughter. Went to the pool again, all that good stuff. Chef Elise is a beast. Knife skills on fleek. I don't know, are we still doing that? Can I do it? Yeah, I know I don't know. But yeah. All right, so now let's get to this question. I gotta like actually pull up my website because I told you it was like a multiple part question. And I actually answered it on the website. And then I realized like these questions are anonymous. So I don't think they take any identifying information to be able to let you know that I answered the question. Excuse me. So I kind of, I don't know, me answering it ahead of time may have been beside the point. But let's see. Someone asked me, this was on May 30th, what brought you to Austin? When was the last time you took a drink? How was your mental health? And would you ever remarry? So again, 4 questions in one question. It just feels like a very privileged individual because I don't know who would assume you could just do that. I feel like I would be, and I don't want to put this on any racial lines, but I feel like the way I was brought up, I would not assume I could get that much out of one question. Like, I don't know. This probably only means something to me, but I am so hyper aware of my impact on other people, or I try to be like hyper aware of how I'm perceived, or, you know, how my actions affect somebody else at all times. Cause I don't, you know, you don't want to be the angry black person. You don't want to be a threat. You know, the school I went to growing up, like you had to kind of maneuver in a way that you were aggressive and assertive enough that nobody was going to try you, but not so aggressive and assertive that somebody looked at you as a threat and would have to address you just to, you know, make sure everybody knew their place in the hierarchy. I think for the people who live like I live, like what I just said makes sense. And for everybody else, they're like, what the fuck is you talking about? But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. If somebody asked me anything, I'd be thinking of one question. This person was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ask 4. I'm just gonna go. So it feels like whiteness to me. But what brought me to Austin? So I know when people normally ask me this question, I normally say my ex-wife. You know, my ex-wife's company. We met in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And her company moved to Austin. And we tried to do the long distance thing. I just saw an opening to just be reckless for a little bit. So I know I encouraged her to go. And then while she was down here, we was doing like the long distance thing, but I was really just, you know, that was my moment to just live out some fantasies. I never was like that kind of guy that like juggled women, or like, I never even really thought I could attract, you know, I don't know. I thought I was the kind of guy that had to take what I could get. Like my mom used to say, I like aggressive women. And it really would be like the girls I would be dating would be the girls that just like force themselves on me. Like, you know, you got a girlfriend? No, you do now. Like that kind of like that Norbit type shit. Like, and so, yeah, when she got the opportunity to come to Texas, I was coming into myself, and I saw an opportunity to be a dude I'd never been before, and I wanted to take it. So we did that, and then long story short, what really brought me to Austin was the alcoholism. Like I had reached a point where I was drinking a lot, and I was really like, this is when I first started. I wasn't losing jobs, like I wasn't getting fired. I think at the end I actually did get fired from one, but prior to that, I was like quitting in advance. Like if I knew I had, you know, I was starting to do too much, and I was like not showing up and taking off extra days, and you know, before anybody could call me on it, or I could get in like serious trouble, I would quit. You know, I was a cleared individual, so like getting fired looked bad. Quitting, I maybe could explain away as, you know, I was ill or going through whatever. I don't know. I think that the number of jobs I had quit at that point was going to be hard to explain, but I still felt like I had a fighting chance with like quitting and me being able to control the narrative of why I left versus getting fired and the job saying what it is I did to deserve to be let go. So that's where I think, and that, the last job I kind of, I think, eventually get fired for not showing up. I was working a contract for the IRS. And if you work for the IRS and you don't show up for work, they send officers to your house. Like, it's a serious thing. Like, they are concerned because, I don't know, they concerned that you could have been taken. Like, people think you work for the IRS, you may have information, or they may could leverage you or get something out of you, especially if you work on the IT side. Or this is at least the perception that the IRS has. So if you don't show up for work and you no call, no show, they sending people to come look for you. So I started like not showing up for work, and like FBI agents and shit would have to come to my house looking for me, wellness visits and stuff like that. So that didn't go well, and I eventually got fired. And I spent some time, chilling and trying to figure out what I was going to do. I think at that point I had really become, it was maybe the second time in my life that I was seriously suicidal. And my plan, I'm telling some fucked up shit right now, but why not? Ask me anything. My plan was to get my ex-wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, but to get my ex-wife pregnant so I could like leave a piece of me behind and then, to check out. Like I didn't want to leave. I felt like people had hyped me up to, like I was supposed to have this impact on the world and I hadn't done it. So I needed to leave something. I'm laughing because I understand how retarded my chain of thought was at the time, but it's pretty fucked up, pretty sad. But that was my plan. And then I think I eventually like hipped her to the plan. I'll tell you this, and this is my perk. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. I believe that people who truly want to take their lives don't talk about it, because if you talk about it, somebody's going to try to stop you. And so I was never like I think when I told her what the plan was, it was my attempt to get somebody to stop. That was me asking for help. Because up until that point, I had been hiding it from her because I knew if she knew what I was really trying to do, she would try to stop me. But eventually I told her, and her thing was, come on, no, pack your shit up, come to Texas, let me take care of you, and we'll get through this, together. And I thought really long and hard about it. Like I really, it wasn't an easy decision for me. Because, me knowing, who my dad kind of was and the relationship that he had with my mom and other women that I had known him to be around, I kind of felt like I was becoming him. And I didn't want to be a guy who used women. I didn't want to go move to Texas, let this woman take care of me, get me back on my feet. And if I didn't really feel, I don't know, if I didn't feel the way I felt like I needed to feel about that relationship. So I made the decision before I moved that like, if I'm doing this, she the one, like we getting married. Like that's how I'm not going down there, getting back on my feet and like dip. I'm not that nigga. Like I didn't want to be that dude. So I think I made that decision before we even left, but that's what got me to Austin. And I moved on New Year's Day, 2013. Yeah. New Year's Day, got off the plane. It was January 1st. I think I might have got on the plane and it was December 31st. I got off the plane. It was January 1st. And first like 5 minutes, I was in Texas, as this is where I'm going to live. Now I'm just visiting. I got a free taco. So that's why I love Austin so much. I love it here. But that's a long story. I ain't mean it to be that long. That's a long story of what brought me to Austin. When was the last time I took a drink? February 14th, 2019. And I say that like with some apprehension because that was in the middle of my last suicide attempt. And I lost like a whole day. Like I bought 2 half gallons of whiskey, and I had some like melatonin gummies, and I was just like taking shots of whiskey, chasing them with Gatorade because I was trying to stay hydrated. Like if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it the healthy way. But yeah, I was taking shots of whiskey, chasing them with Gatorade, and then throwing back like melatonin gummies. So I would just like randomly fall asleep, wake up, take a shot, fall back asleep. And so at one point, like I lost the whole 24 hours. I really don't know what happened in those 24 hours. So I think like the first day I can remember not having a drink was the 15th. So I say the 14th is the last day that I had a drink. And yeah, that's the answer to that one. We'll keep that one short. How is your mental health? I'm gonna say pretty good these days. Pretty good. And again, like it's just the growing up. I think I say the most fucked up shit, but I hope it comes across the way like I intended to come across, and like I hope I'm not putting dangerous information out into the world. But because what I was about to say was the cool thing about attempting suicide, and I realized how stupid that sounds. But the cool thing about attempting suicide is that it feels like on the other end of it, like having failed at my attempt and still being alive, it almost feels like it was a reset button, like where I was at that moment and the way I had kind of like cut off everything in my life because I didn't expect there to be a tomorrow. When tomorrow came, it was all brand new. Like I almost don't have any of the same friends. There are not a lot of people who knew me from prior to that moment that still know me today, or that I still, we still have as close a relationship with. I'm in a completely different city. I live with, around different people. I'm not, I was not in the same relationship that I was in. None of the jobs that I was in. Like I really have an opportunity, and I'm taking the opportunity to reinvent myself. Like I post stuff and I'm like, who is this dude? Because I am really a very different guy than I was 2 years ago. That fast. Like I'm very, very different. And I don't even think the people who know me now have any idea of who I used to be. And there are times where I want to like give them a glimpse. Like I just want to be like, yo, stop fucking talking to me like this. Cause you don't know who you don't know. And I don't mean that in like the cocky, like I'm gonna kill you kind of way. I just mean it in like I have this reputation, and even on the podcast, like I have this reputation of being like the whitest black guy a lot of people know. And I'm just like, dude, you don't know me. You don't know me. I'm from Chocolate City, like as black as it gets. Like you people don't know me. You think this, professional voice, or the guy you see at work, or the guy you see, running a meeting, or the guy who's trying to be political and tactful and friendly is my everyday 24-hour face. No, I'm completely different nigga sometimes. Like, I just feel the word to say nigga right there just to help people understand, drive the point home. But no, but yeah, to say all that, yeah, it don't sound like my mental health is good, but I feel like it's good. I was talking to my mom last night, and just, I've been through some things recently, and I see the way I react to stress and things now. I see the way I do things differently. I talked, I think last week about, being at a comedy show and sitting at a bar the whole night, and like that not being a thing. And that's a far cry from, the person that I used to be. And the stresses and things that have come up and the way I've handled them, I'm proud of. I'm really proud of. I'm a much different dude. And it seems sustainable. Like that's the cool thing about it. Like it's not, I don't feel like I'm tensing a muscle. I don't feel like I'm white knuckling it right now. I feel like, I've created a different life, a completely different life. Like I absolutely hit the reset button. And this life doesn't require the same attitude, the same vices, same coping mechanisms. This life is different. And I'm trying to just go with the flow, enjoy it, woosah. I'm trying to find that balance between like how much kumbaya is too much kumbaya. I talked about this before. Like I do think at times I've become like so zenned out, so like accommodating, and so just like go with the flow, path of least resistance kind of thing. And I think people like run with that. And then that's when old Flan wants to come out. Like, I really do want to spaz on somebody just so people know it's a possibility. Like, I don't want it to become a normal thing, but I'm uncomfortable with how comfortable people are around me, if that makes sense. Like, you need to be a little afraid. Like, be a little afraid to say certain shit to me, or have a little apprehension in what you may do around me, because you don't know how I'm gonna react. I think everybody just, he's a teddy bear. Like, he ain't gonna do nothing. And I want to do something just so people know it's a possibility. Like, I don't really want to do it. I just need you to understand it might happen. So chill. Like, but that doesn't sound like my mental health is good, but it is. I see a psychiatrist like at least once or twice a month. I actually got to go to the gym because I promised them that the next time we spoke, I would have been to the gym multiple times, and hasn't happened yet. So yeah, I got to get that done. And I'm on my meds, and I do this podcast has been a big part of my mental health. Just being able to talk shit out, and then like having conversations with people based on what they hear from me, and them knowing that they're not alone and me knowing that I'm not alone. It's been super dope. All right, last question. Would you ever remarry? I want to say, if you had asked me this 3-4 months ago, I think the answer would have been no. And not because like I have something against relationships, but just because I feel like where I was at that time, I was cool being by myself. Like, the idea of a relationship seemed like more stress than it was worth. Like, I didn't want to go through the process of getting to know someone or having them get to know me. Like, as much as I think I wanted the end result, the work that went into that end result was off-putting to me. So staying by myself was cool. And I had become like cool with that. Like, really, I really was like cool with that. Super cool. I said I went like 3 years. If you know what I'm talking about. At one point, I had been celibate longer than I had been sober. Like, I'm talking like 3 years. And I was good with that. And then a situation popped up and ended that 3-year streak. And but more than that, I think it did remind me that I kind of miss missing someone. I kind of miss egotistically. Like, I think we all want to play a part in somebody else's happiness. Like, I think there's something fulfilling about being the reason a person is smiling. Like doing something and somebody smiles and they're happy, and it has something to do with you. I think there's something fulfilling, there's something to that, like that meets a human need. And it's a certain kind of relationship. It's not that I don't do things that make people happy, normally. I just, I'm not into making dudes happy. I don't know. Like, that's just, I don't know. I do miss that kind of intimacy and having a person that knows me better than anybody else, and a person that I can confide in, a person I can do things for, a person that I just, I don't know. Sometimes you need a reminder that you're a good, lovable person, and the only way to prove you're lovable is for someone to love you, and I kind of miss having somebody to love. So I think, with all that said, that sounded real sappy and sad and shit. I feel pathetic right now. But yeah, I would remarry. Like, if the right situation came around, I definitely would do it. I miss being a husband. I took a lot of pride in being a husband, and I was the type of dude that you couldn't talk to for more than 30 seconds without like my wife coming up. Like, it couldn't happen, especially if it was a woman. Like, I was quick. Like, you'd be like, man, I went to lunch the other day. I'm like, man, who likes to go to lunch? My wife. She goes to lunch every day. Like, it's amazing that you said that. She does the same shit. My wife really does that. I remember being at a bar, like with some buddies, and walking away from the bar with a beer, and a lady approached me and she was asking me about my beer. And at the time I was like super beer snob, like really into the craft beers and stuff here in Austin. And so I was going into, what kind of beer this was. And she was like, man, I'd like to try that. And I wasn't going to offer her a sip of my beer. That seemed weird. And I also don't know when people are flirting with me. And so I offered to buy her one. I'm like, man, I'll get you one. Because I'm that kind of dude. Like, hey, man, I wanted to share the beers that I love with everybody else. Like, everybody should love these beers. I'm like, I'll get you one. She's like, no, I want some of yours. And that's when it hit me. Like, oh, okay. This isn't a conversation about beer. And so I did you stroke my face with my left hand so you could see the ring, and walked off. And that was a great moment for me. I don't know why I'm telling that story. But yes, I will be married just so I could do that again. Just so I could be in the bar and flash the ring on somebody. I still got it. I could do it for fun, but nah. Like to this day, sometimes I walk out the house and feel like I left something because that ring isn't on. Sometimes my hand feels naked. It's the only way I can describe it. And I have to remind myself different time. But yeah, those are answers to your 4 questions. I hope that all made sense. If you would like to ask me a question, hit me up on whatistws.com/AMA. Ask me anything. As you can see, you can ask me anything. I'm going to give you probably way more information than you wanted, especially if it's about me. I'm narcissistic that way. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. This was good. I had a good time. Hope y'all had a good time. Go to the calls to action. Zaya Fitness, taking more shirts, taking more photos with his shirt off than ever these days. So ladies, if you're looking for Instagram to follow, or if you're looking for nutrition advice and fitness advice, dudes too. ZAYAH Fitness on Instagram. I think he's taking, ladies, so just look but don't touch. I make everything weird. Fuck it though. If you're looking for ways to be impactful, ttcharities.org. Hit them up. Donate what you can. Time, money, books, clothes, a like, a repost, a retweet. It all goes a long way. But be your brother's keeper, and find a way to be impactful in a positive way. Support TT Charities. They're doing great things. TT Charities, Tavares Taylor Charities.org. Hit them up. The websites, my websites, whatistws.com, definefunctional.com. Haven't put out a Define Functional episode in a while, but it's in the works. What is TWS is dropping episodes every week. I'm proud of myself. I think I've made it every week up to 2021, putting an episode out. That didn't sound right for some reason to me, but I put a episode out every week. Haven't missed a week. I'll get this one out tonight. Just dropped the Stay Grateful shirts. So, like I said, if I say something more than once, I'm probably making a shirt out of it. So stay grateful. You can get those on the whatistws.com store, along with your For the Algorithm stuff. I share because I care. All your What Is TWS logo stuff, dopeness, lady dopeness. I'm about to. My homie just had a kid, and so I'm putting together a onesie with the dopeness logo on it for his little girl. I don't know if I'll make it a thing in the store, but I can at least make a one-off for her. Little baby girl dopeness. I'm excited about it, if you can't tell. But that's about it. Still working on the book. Hopefully do some writing later on tonight. And just trying to love life and hang out with good people like y'all. So thank you for hanging out with me today. We're going to rock out to, what the fuck do I got queued up? Oh yeah, I got, I was going to do some straight B-boyism for this episode and do straight bars, intro and outro, but the Tiana Taylor joint just spoke to me. So here's some bars on the way out. Big Sean. I just think this was a crazy verse. I've been listening to this song nonstop for a couple days. I think this is old, but this is a crazy verse. So until we speak again, be safe, be the light, be easy, and I love y'all. Holla.
Okay, I walk with a limp and I talk with a slur. I might wear every single chain in